Thank you so much for having me today. You guys are a beautiful crowd, a beautiful country. Thank you so much for allowing me.
They told the world Benson Boone just lost his voice. But this hidden footage from the days before his tour collapsed reveals a much darker story. One they definitely don't want you to see. A sold-out arena, thousands of fans screaming with an energy that could power a city, the air thick with anticipation, the lights about to go down. But the star of the show is completely absent. Then, in a stunning turn of events, just minutes before he's set to walk on stage, a shocking message appears on thousands of phone screens. An entire global tour, a meticulously planned machine, grinds to a screeching halt, and a carefully built dream begins to publicly unravel. What could possibly force a rising superstar like Benson Boone, an artist at the absolute peak of his momentum, to pull the plug at the very last second? The official story being fed to the public is that he simply lost his voice, but the chilling signs leading up to this dramatic cancellation suggest something far more serious, far more complicated, was brewing behind the curtain. The epicenter of this chaos was Birmingham, England. Inside the Utilita Arena, the atmosphere was electric. Fans had traveled from all corners of the country, some even from neighboring nations, to be there. They were draped in tour merchandise, their faces painted, clutching signs, and singing his lyrics in unison before he had even appeared. This wasn't just a concert. For many, it was a pilgrimage. But their collective energy was about to be shattered. Less than a single hour before showtime, a notification lit up their devices. It was a direct message from Benson on his Instagram, and its words were a punch to the gut. "I am so sorry, but I will not be able to perform tonight." The statement was brutally abrupt, and the wave of disappointment was instantaneous and overwhelming. The venue's management, caught completely off guard, scrambled to release their own confirmation, offering a hollow apology for the extremely short notice and the inconvenience caused. But for the thousands of fans already inside, some of whom had been queuing for hours, the damage was done. The dream night had instantly morphed into a logistical and emotional nightmare, and a tidal wave of confusion, frustration, and heartbreak swept through the once joyful crowd. In his own carefully chosen words, Benson attempted to paint a picture of a desperate, last-ditch effort to salvage the performance. He claimed he had tried absolutely everything he could, every trick in the book, to revive his voice. He insisted he simply could not give the powerhouse performance he felt his fans had paid for and truly deserved. He described the situation as genuinely the crappiest feeling, a seemingly raw and heartbreaking admission from an artist riding a colossal wave of success. He swore to his followers, "I promise you I will do everything in my power to make it up to you." But as the initial shock began to wear off and fans were ushered out of the arena into the cold night, the apology started to feel thin. For a cancellation this sudden, this calamitous, the simple explanation of a common sore throat just wasn't adding up for many. The timing felt too perfect in its disastrousness to be a simple illness. The questions began to swirl online, whispers turning into loud speculation. What was really going on behind the scenes? But this wasn't some bolt from the blue. This collapse didn't happen in a vacuum. The warning signs, the red flags, were already there, flashing brightly just days earlier during his show in Glasgow, Scotland. During that performance, eagle-eyed fans had already started to notice something was seriously wrong. Videos quickly began circulating on TikTok, showing Benson visibly struggling to hit his signature notes, his voice cracking, his face etched with a mixture of pain and frustration. He was a professional, of course, pushing through the set with every ounce of his energy, but the immense strain was undeniable to anyone paying attention. The real bombshell, however, dropped after the concert had ended. A loyal crowd of his most devoted fans waited patiently outside the venue in the cold, hoping for a precious glimpse, a quick autograph, a moment with their idol. What they received instead was a grim and prophetic announcement that sent a chill through the entire fan base. As these fans huddled together for warmth, a member of Benson's inner circle, his tour team, emerged with a very serious message. A fan's TikTok camera captured the entire tense moment. The team member explained that Benson was more than just a little ill, and far more alarmingly, that he literally couldn't say a single word. The doctor's orders were severe and absolute. No talking, no singing, no signing, no personal pictures. He was to be on complete and total vocal rest. The team member then revealed the immense pressure they were all under, stating that Benson had to see a specialist doctor the very next day specifically so that he can perform in Birmingham. The implication was terrifyingly clear. His voice was hanging on by a single, frayed thread, and the future of the entire tour depended on the next 24 hours. He was permitted to come out and wave, a silent, almost tragic gesture to the fans he so desperately didn't want to disappoint. But the moment served as a dark omen of the disaster that was about to unfold. This entire chaotic ordeal stands in brutal, stark contrast to the grand vision Benson had so passionately laid out for this tour. The American Heart World Tour wasn't just another series of concerts for him. It was meant to be his official coronation as a global pop phenomenon. In a recent interview with People magazine, he had spoken with unbridled excitement about how this tour was vastly different than anything I have ever done before. He gushed about the far bigger stage, the intricate little choreographed moments, and the slick, upgraded, more professional outfits that signified his arrival in the major leagues. He even made a point to highlight the intense 2 full weeks of rehearsals they had undergone, something he personally considered a big deal. This was his moment to ascend, to cement his status, to prove to the world that he was more than just a viral sensation. And now, that meticulously planned high-budget production was being mortally threatened by the one instrument he could never replace, his own voice. The irony was as cruel as it was public. As the news of the Birmingham cancellations spread like wildfire across social media platforms, the online reaction was a volatile mix of genuine sympathy and growing suspicion. While a significant portion of his fan base flooded his comments with messages of support, urging him to rest and recover his health, a powerful undercurrent of frustration and anger began to build. People had traveled from all over the country, spending hundreds, if not thousands, of pounds on non-refundable train tickets, hotel rooms, and time off work, all for a show that was unceremoniously canceled less than an hour before it was scheduled to begin. It was in this fertile ground of disappointment that rumors and speculation began to bubble up and explode in fan forums and comment sections. Was it really just a sore throat? A simple case of laryngitis? Or was this a symptom of something much deeper? Something the official story was designed to hide? Fans began to openly question the grueling, punishing intensity of a modern world tour. Was he being overworked and pushed past his physical limits by his label and management? Was the schedule simply too demanding for a young artist still navigating the treacherous waters of fame? The simple narrative of a random illness was starting to fray, being rapidly replaced by whispers of exhaustion, burnout, and the immense, crushing strain of modern celebrity. With the Birmingham show left in ashes and a cloud of uncertainty hanging in the air, all eyes immediately and intensely turned to London. In the capital, Benson was scheduled to play 3 crucial high-profile dates, the glittering centerpiece of the UK leg of his tour. The Birmingham cancellation cast a long, dark shadow over these upcoming performances. The questions were immediate, urgent, and being asked by everyone from fans to industry insiders. Could he possibly recover his voice in just a couple of short days? Would his team risk putting him on stage, potentially causing permanent career-ending damage to his precious vocal cords? Or would the London shows also fall, creating a catastrophic domino effect that could jeopardize the entire international tour he had worked so hard for? The London dates were no longer just concerts. They had transformed into a high-stakes medical and professional crucible, with the entire trajectory of his young career hanging precariously in the balance. The pressure on him now was simply unimaginable. Ultimately, this shocking last-minute cancellation is so much more than just a tour hiccup. It's a stark and brutal reminder of the fragile, often hidden reality that exists behind the dazzling glamour of superstardom. An artist's body, and for a singer, especially their voice, is their entire livelihood, a delicate instrument that can be broken. This very public incident exposes the razor-thin, treacherous line that performers are forced to walk every single night between delivering an unforgettable, high-energy show and pushing their bodies to an irreversible breaking point. Is this just a temporary setback for Benson Boone? A dramatic but ultimately forgettable bump in the road on his meteoric path to global domination? Or is it something more ominous? A profound warning sign of the hidden struggles, the immense physical toll, and the silent battles that come hand in hand with such a rapid, explosive rise to fame. The entire world is now watching, waiting to see what happens next. But one thing has been made painfully clear. The beautiful dream of the American Heart Tour has revealed its terrifying potential to become a heartbreaking, cautionary nightmare.